Dr. Jazz.
But yeah, like I said, thanks for taking the time. I have you on so many records, and I've spoken to so many people you've played with, obviously. So I was like, let's hit you now.
Well, it's a pleasure. I appreciate you asking me to speak to you, and we can talk. You can ask me a
Yeah,
few things about
definitely.
wherever you want to go.
Yeah. I mean, I want to start actually, I listened today to Blue Ridge, your last album, I believe, and it's such a beautiful record. And I wanted to ask you what's happening there on the department of you as a band leader, if you have been preparing something new or.
Well, after so many years as a musician, your band leaders move on, they transition. So, my career started off with Sonny Stitt and Jackie McLean, then, Harold Mabern and Pharoah Sanders. I was with Kenny Garrett. So at a point, you start doing some of your own things. And I think earlier on, I was doing a little bit in the 80s, kind of locally. But Blue Ridge came about. I was working somewhat with the owner of the Side Door. At the time, it was just starting. He hadn't started the club yet, and we talked a little, and he talked to other people here in the Hartford area, and he decided he'd have a jazz club. So he thanked me by giving me this opportunity to do Blue Ridge. So we actually did it in his club in the Side Door.
Mm.
No audience, it's live. And I call my friends. I call Eric McPherson and Rick Jermison. So Eric and I work with Jackie. Rick Jermison and I are just colleagues from the university, as well as we play together. And Steve Davis was one of my students early on in his career. And then you had Josh Bruno, who was a student at the time.
Mm.
So you look for a chemistry of people that are all coming from the same concept, and you do that. Before that was a record called State of Emergency.
Yeah, that's a beautiful one.
It came about somewhat the same way through the university's help, through an endowment or an award that the professors get for different projects. So you do a lot of that, and then you realize that there's a lot of musicians that all need to work, and sometimes I could come up with some places to play. So I would call different musicians, so you get different working units, and then after a while, you become the person as the leader. And I think a lot of the leadership ideas I've come up with came from my mentors. I wanted to have the guys look a certain way, and we work together on the music. So it's been a growing process, and I'm happy the way it's moving forward. There's some recordings that are going to come out this year that I did that will even keep it going. It keeps going.
Beautiful, super.
Yeah.
You also composed a lot of music for these records, right?
Well, not a lot, just some ideas I'd had for a while. When you're teaching a lot, or when you're playing a lot, some musicians have the time, but for me, I just wanted to make sure that I was playing well. I had ideas, but I never really had the expertise of actually sitting down and writing out a song. But now, you can record different ideas and give them to the other musicians, and they put something around it and turn it into your compositions. I think a lot of that happens anyway. I think most recently, a lot of people doing things a lot of different ways. So every time I play, I feel like I'm creating a song, even if it's a standard, with the bass line.
Yeah.
Because you can play different ways over it, and you're thinking about different ways to approach it. So the creativity is coming out in different ways now. So it's a good thing.
Oh yeah, definitely. Who is this new record that you mentioned gonna be with? I mean, the same band, kind of,
Oh,
or?
well, one of them is with Sarah Hanahan. Sarah Hanahan. She plays the alto sax. She was a student at the Hart School. She graduated from Hart, and she went to Juilliard and graduated. And she became a really wonderful young musician. So she's got a new record coming out with myself and Jeff Tane Watts and Mark Carey. Wow. Mark Carey will be on the piano. Beautiful. And then I'm on another record that's with Steve Davis, Abner Kumsen Davis, Mike DeRubo, Willie Jones III, and Rick Germanson.
Beautiful.
That'll be coming out soon too.
Super.
Another recording that came out just most recently is Ron Blake's recording, was something we had put together before COVID, and then he finished it with another bassist. So that's out there too.
Wow, fantastic. So
yeah,
you're busy. Yeah, super.
And so I just did another recording with a trio that I formed up here in Hartford, and we're called M&M Trio. That's the name of the group. So that's happening. It's always something happening, you know.
Yeah.
I played with Scatter the Atoms That Remain down at Jazz at Lincoln Center, and that's a whole different type of music. That's mostly improvisation.
Yeah.
And just since my retirement, I'm just trying to stay on top of my instrument, learn more about the bass, learn more about myself, and try to keep myself. You want to make people want to play with you. So,
that's so nicely put. Yeah.
That's the whole idea.
That's the whole idea. Yeah. Yeah.
So you play as well?
Yeah, I'm a guitarist. You know, I've done many records with New York guys and European guys, and and I teach also. You know, so that's I guess
great.
How like the majority of us makes a living almost basically. So it's the gigging has gone so down, I think, in recent years, especially after COVID in Europe, that it's quite tough. Put it like that. But you know,
yeah, because it's a bigger field it's a larger field of players.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's tough. It's tough for everybody.
Yeah.
But that's what you have to really think about, what it is you're doing and how you want to carve out that spot for yourself.
Yeah.
And everything's tough. The world's tough.
Definitely, especially, I mean, you know, choosing this music.
It's got to have a flow.
Yeah.
Yes, because the music changed with the world. You know, if it's a kind of turbulent world, the music will be a different way than when it's peaceful, or if you're in a peaceful area or peaceful town or rough town, busy town. I think all players should have other players to play with, you know, as much as they can.
Yeah.
And as a group, try to work on something so that nobody's so much by themselves.
Yeah.
Because when we lose conversation, like we might have, you know, that's when you lose the chance to really want to do things with each other, make this a little bigger.
Yeah, especially in jazz and improvised music, that's so important. What you said, you know, that's yeah. If we go just a little bit back, Nat, like, what was it for you? Like, you know, way different times, I guess. But if we talk about, I don't know, early 70s, I guess, or mid 70s, what was the moment that got you excited for this music, that you wanted to go this way? I mean, was there a record or a concert, or?
No, I didn't mean no so loud, but no, it started for me as a young kid that liked sound. So let's say I'm a young kid who likes the sound of the birds. I was really into sound. So my grandfather would attract the birds into an area in the house that he made actually for me. He put the bird houses there.
Oh, well.
Comfortable place to sit, a little koi pond. You have a grill in the backyard. So I would be back there instead of running around listening. Then I would hear the train. So I would hear the train. I liked the train, like the sound. I like the rhythm of my mother's washing machine. So all of that led to sports, rhythm, time, tempo. So I played football and basketball and ran some track. But my grandfather was also a musician. He played the banjo, the mandolin, the guitar, slide pedal guitar, just all kinds of string instruments. And he even made instruments. So one day he handed me his guitar I played the top four notes, four strings, took the bottom two off of the top, whichever way you want to look at it. Had the E, A, and D, G strings on the guitar. So I played it that way. And then he bought me a birthday for my birthday, 16th birthday, he bought me an electric bass.
Oh, okay.
So I had an electric bass, didn't know how to play it. My best friend bought a drum set. So we joined a band that was playing top 40 music. So we used to play everything that came out on the radio, and we became good enough to play before Kool and the Gang.
Ooh,
and
okay.
a couple other groups of soul groups. This is at the age of 16, 17. So then I became more interested in the bass itself. So then I started listening to Stanley Clarke and Jocko. And that music took me to Herbie, to Miles Davis. So then it just was a fusion kind of way to the music. Still not really knowing much about it, just knowing I like how it sounded. So let's say from the first groups, we were just playing standards. I was still playing electric bass, but trying to play like I was playing upright bass. So I did that for a year or two. And then I was told that they liked my bass player, but they wanted an upright bass player. So I didn't want to lose my gig. So I went out and bought an upright bass and took it straight to the gig and played it. I'm in Richmond, Virginia now, from my hometown, Lynchburg. And now I'm in Richmond. So I used to play with that group. Then I started playing the upright. My best buddy had friends in Hartford. And there was a woman in Hartford who had work up here in Hartford, where I live now. She invited us up to Hartford. So the two of us came up on a tractor-trailer truck. I had maybe 20 bucks, came to Hartford. We played around Hartford. Then I was attracted to New York by a friend of mine who was from Lynchburg, Joe Paulson. So I went to New York. That's when I started to kind of really learn about playing on the streets. I met Kenny Garrett.
Which year was that?
Roney.
When did you move to New York?
Late 79.
79.
79.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. 79 to about 81. I was in New York. Then I was called back to Hartford because there was work in Hartford. So I went back to Hartford. I got a call from New York to go to Japan with Sonny Stitt.
Ooh, how did that happen?
First trip to
the Sonny Stitt gig.
Contacts. Contacts I made. I got a contact from Margaret Miller recommended me, and Kenny Garrett. So recommendation. That's how it used to work. You had to work with somebody, and somebody had to bring you in. I couldn't be a band leader yet.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? I'm still learning.
Sure.
So Sonny Stitt was very ill, so he passed away. We said he came home. He passed before we made it home.
Awesome.
So I get back to Connecticut. Jackie McLean hears about it. So Jackie McLean invites me to his house. So we listen to the tapes. And from that point on, he started to really mentor me. So he got me involved in everything he was doing at the University of Hartford in the Artist Collective. So I became part-time teaching and learning my way as I taught. And 5 years later, he asked me to play with him. And that was maybe 1986 here in town. And from that point, I started working with him. We went to Japan several times with Mark Johnson and Jack Wilson, sorry. And Jack Wilson on piano. So we were touring Japan, and then Jackie started to introduce me to Arthur Taylor, Walter Davis Jr., Walter Bishop. So I just was in that time when things were right at the end, sort of, with some of the great musicians, but they were still around.
Yeah.
You know, I would see Buddy Rich on the street, see Freddie Hubbard, see him all the time. So you become one of the guys, you know? So you keep going. So after Jackie, then I started playing with Kenny Garrett and Jackie at the same time a little bit. So then playing with Kenny Garrett, I'm playing with Pat Metheny too. So your audience, people start to see your name. So then after that, let me see. Once Jackie passed, then I was playing with Jackie again until he passed away.
How was Jackie like as a band leader to you? I
He
mean,
was the best.
he was amazing,
He was
right?
more than a band leader. He
Yeah.
was like my dad, man.
Mm.
Yeah, he was very serious, and he had a concept of the way things should be in this music. You know, how you should look, how to take care of your music, take care of yourself. He was a great person for me.
Yeah.
So he taught me a lot, and I played his last performances with him over in Europe, and he passed away on my mother's birthday.
Oh, wow.
So we connected.
Yeah.
So then you go from Jackie to, you're playing with Harold Mabern, one of the greatest piano players in the world. So I had a lot of playing time with him, going to Japan with him. Then here comes Pharoah Sanders. Pharoah Sanders wanted to play with me after he heard Jack McLean had passed, because these people are all checking you out when you're playing with other people. But Pharoah liked my spirit, as well as I think most bands do, I hope. I try to, give them my all and be sincere, and it comes out in your music.
Definitely.
I played a lot with Mr. Pharoah Sanders. We were friends. We would talk on the phone all the time. We never really talked about music. We just played music. Never put a chart up. There's no chart. The chart is how much you can find up here, and then he passed. And now, I've retired from the University of Hartford, and I'm starting to come up on the radar again as me. Because, when you're a sideman with some of the greats, in those days, you were a sideman. There were a few people that make it up to where they're being spoken about. They're still like that, You have a lot of great players out there, but a few of them don't get what some others do get. But that's just the way it is. Nothing wrong with that. But that's the way the music is. So that's why you have to be very happy with where you are and not trying to be somebody else. I think it's important. Make those connections with the right people, just because your happiness is everything. Music is the other part. Then you start to check out all the players and get to know the players. And I think what helped me with identifying a lot of players is, like I said, I started off listening to sound, so I can hear a different sound in a player. And that's the first thing I try to get my students to understand. You got to understand who's playing what instrument. Today, unfortunately, not everybody has a sound.
Yeah.
Everybody has technique, but you slow it down to get your sound. And that's just the way I think it is. I can tell a lot of the great young players. There's a lot of great young players out there that do have sounds. They stick out. And those who always say they have a problem, they have forgotten some certain things they should apply to what they're trying to do and focus on your sound, your appearance. You want to have a vibe all the time. I could have showed up in a hoodie, right?
Yeah, sure.
That.
Sure. Yeah, that's true, actually, yeah.
And got my friend back there behind me, as you can see. That's my inspiration. It's McLean. What I've been mostly doing now is just going back and listening to a lot of the performance I have played, because back a long ways of time ago, I started recording. So I have cassette
The live
tapes
gigs. Oh, wow.
Of all my gigs.
Ooh.
So now I'm putting everything into my iTunes. I have recordings of Jackie and us playing, Pharoah Sanders, everybody, Pat Metheny.
Well, that's an archive. Wow.
I got an archive. That's
man.
That's what's important to me right now. Put together my archive. And my other passion is photography. So I'm kind of an amateur, but I like to take pictures. And I'm just trying to live now, 69 years old, man.
You look 42 or something. you have this energy when you talk now. Really, it's so nice to hear it. I mean,
well, that's what it's all about, man. And you know what's funny? How do I pronounce your name? Samo?
Samo, yeah. Samo.
Samo. Yeah. I was just on 12 hours on a train round trip.
Okay.
24 hours of travel. I've been away from home for about a week. So I got back last night. So I'm a little tired, but I knew that when I saw you, I have to have some energy and talk about it so it could be fun, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It has to be fun. And it has to have all kinds of parts to it to make it fun. So you focus on everything, what you're eating, your mental state, go out in the woods, go watch the sunrise, but you know, and then taking care of your health.
Yeah.
Practicing, having something in mind that you're going to play. And I'm focusing more and more on my instrument itself. You know, like I have a bass built in the early 1800s that's been totally rebuilt because I had a really bad accident late 90s. I backed over it with my car.
Oh, wow. Sure.
Flattened it. So I took it to the bass shop in garbage bags. I had it rebuilt. Then I had a new neck put on recently, really nice. And I just had that made to fit my hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I just changed all, made sure that everything's tight, all glued up. And you got a good sound post in it. You got the right humidity. All those little things I never thought about. I took for granted. So you keep your instrument in good shape too, and yourself. Then when you go play, you're in sync. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to do that.
How did you, you know, you were on the road a lot with all those guys that you mentioned. How did you keep in shape on the road and staying fresh, especially, you know, when you're playing like night after night and you have to, how was it on the road for you? I mean, like, you know, for me, the longest tour was 18 gigs in a row. And sometimes I began to question myself whether, you know, the band was amazing, but it was just me usually, like whether I'm playing the right thing or not, or like, how did you deal with these things on the road?
Well, back, let's say when I was with Jackie or Pharaoh, we wouldn't play 19 days in a row, first of all. There would be space in between, and accommodations were high. So the whole idea was not to see how much they could get out of a musician. The idea was to bring a musician into the area or the road, on the road, and make sure that he's comfortable so he can play and not be tired. But then as things changed, you had to play more nights in a row. Because I did some 18-nighters, 18 different basses.
Yeah. Oh shit.
I used to take my bass all over.
That's right.
So I had my own instrument. So I did a lot of practicing in the room. It was fun. I had the bass, you know, you're tired, but you got your instrument. That's what kept me okay, was having my bass and having just figured out what was most important on the road. First things you want to know, where's the laundromat? Is there an iron in the room? So you got to cover all bases. You know, your clothes start off. Where's the restaurants? So you get all that together in your head and you know where all that's at. Then you get to the venue, you have to know how to, okay, get there early. Boom. Get there early, you're tired. Get there early, get a chance to play that instrument. Eat, get to make sure you're eating right. Everybody likes to have a drink, save it to the end. That's all, because you're going to get tired if you start too soon. And I think for me, it was the excitement of being on the road. But like I said, it wasn't so hard then. You know, it wasn't that hard. It was, I used to have car service from my house. You know, like someone drove me to the airport. Someone picks me up at the airport. You know, someone picks up just me when I go to the venue, just me and my bass. So I dealt with it was a relationship with the bass.
It's beautiful.
It was beautiful. So now it's changed because I find myself hustling a little more to just do what seems to be normal now. And that's to get as much as you can out of that musician. And you know what I'm saying? And maybe see how much more you can get out of them. And if you'll find someone that will keep going. So sometimes you have to just keep going. Don't ever doubt yourself, ever. Because if you do that, then you sabotage yourself. Always feel like you did good.
Yeah.
Who's to judge it? One mistake, two mistakes?
Yeah.
That's nothing to talk, judge. So that's the whole attitude. The whole attitude is to feel good about yourself. What makes me feel good about myself is how I look. So because I didn't feel so good in my sweatpants earlier, my hoodie. As soon as I got ready for you, I was like, wow, that's not so bad. So,
You look good, man. So
yeah, so you just,
yeah.
you know, how old are you? You're young, man. How old are you?
Yeah, I'm 44.
Yeah, that's a good age. 44 is a good age. You have a band you're working with?
Yeah, I mean, I play, you know, with many musicians in Europe, European guys, and then sometimes I bring someone from New York over to have a tour and stuff.
So where are you from?
I'm from Slovenia, which is like a former Yugoslavia.
Aha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there. I
Oh,
was there
you?
before. I
Oh,
went to
okay.
Slovenia. Yes, I went there with Kenny Garrett.
Kenny, probably. Yeah.
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 So yes, yeah, I went to there with Kenny. So yeah, and you're in New York now, right?
No, I'm in Europe now. So, but
You're,
I went to New York like every
you're in
year
Europe now. Okay.
for a month or two and stuff. So just to
Okay.
learn and
So
play and record and, you know.
so bring me over there to play with you. I'm just
Oh
joking.
man, we have a guest room here. Come. You can hang. We are in the wine country, so and play. So
Yeah.
yeah, would be amazing if you're gonna be in Europe.
Oh,
Drop
that's
me a line.
nice.
We could get a gig together or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
nice country, Slovenia.
So
You know, beautiful.
it is. It is.
Yeah,
I had a beautiful time there. I guess
yeah.
I've probably been to maybe 64, 65 countries.
Oh
And
man,
you change your whole concept everywhere you go. You want to know the food and what people like to do, and you want to really get to know the culture.
yeah,
And think about what I think about is kind of okay. I know who I like. I know how well they all play. Now I find my own sound, and I use some of the ideas from other people I like.
mm,
So that's where I come from. My first thing I thought about right at the beginning was strings on the bass. I use the same strings as Ron Carter because I like his sound. And
yeah,
now I know why he likes the strings, because they give you something the other strings don't give you. You might lose the bow, but you'll gain a lot of other stuff. So that was the first thing I did. And the second thing was I have a really nice bass. So once you get your bass, your instruments, get the one you like, start recording yourself. I record everything. Find somebody to play with. One guy. That's all you need. Two guys.
yep,
By yourself. But just keep fresh. Do like you're doing. You're reaching out to a lot of musicians, I see.
yeah, yeah. That's I love your stories, you know, as well. So it's just that keeps you going, right? I mean, it's part of the heritage and this
Yeah.
history, and I think that's so important.
Yeah, because what you're doing is you're in Europe. You love the culture here in the U.S. You like the music. You're talking to the musicians. That's the best way to learn.
Yeah.
You know, because most of what I learned wasn't like sitting there and playing the bass. It's a question. You know, you ask a question. You know, something I'm noticing now that I do more is if I'm playing, before I get there to play, sometimes I won't play that day.
Yeah.
And then I'll play the gig and go, see, how did that feel? Then the next day I'll play up until it's time to play and see what the different feel is. It's usually the one where I play up until it's time to go. Sometimes that's really what it is, because you want to check it out first, see where you're at with your instrument. I think another way I dealt on the road was when I was with Kenny Garrett. We played all the time. We rehearsed. We went to the hotel. If there was a piano there, we play. You know, before we could check into the rooms, we play. We get to the sound check, we play. We play the gig. We play after the gig. We play in the morning after breakfast. So we played all the time. So that's what makes you feel good about everything you play, because you get a chance to play it. Yeah. It's not like and you get a chance to see how well you can do when it's a surprise. Sometimes you don't know what you're going to play. That's why I like playing with certain musicians, where they don't really know yet. They'll go tell you right at that moment, let's do so and so and so. So you don't have a chance to work on it. So you have to relax and understand that they worked on it. You follow them. Yeah. You know, you'll tell when to lead and when to pull back. That's another thing too.
Mm. Yeah. I wanted to
But
ask you,
you're doing all the right stuff.
yeah. Sorry, when you were on the road, like with that quartet, with Kenny and Tane and Kenny Kirkland, right? Uh,
Mhm.
how was it? I mean, you played like with the world's best drummers, and did you guys talk a lot about the music, how to play? Like, because I feel like that band is like such a living organism behind Kenny. I mean, you, Kenny Kirkland and Tane, and you're like kind of going ahead, and then like
No,
it's like a moving thing. Like, did you guys talk a lot about music or
no,
never?
it's that. No, we did. Kenny
Okay.
talked a lot about music,
Mm.
and he had a concept. Kenny Garrett.
Garrett, yeah.
When we played, he wanted us to try. Don't be so loose on it. Take a chance.
Yeah.
So we would all take chances, taking a chance with each other, but having enough. We felt we could. We knew we're going to all respect each other and play together. We were all listening to each other. And then that's where taping comes in. So I would go tape it, listen to it. Go, yeah, that's nice. I got to hold on to that. So we all taped. Kenny Kirkland and Jeff Watts played a lot together.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny Garrett and I played a lot together. So it's just a matter of all of us getting together on it. So we were all coming from the same place. We listened to the same musicians. We learned from each other. It was nice. It was a very high level of playing. It was very high. I mean, once you hit the downbeat, it was boom. It wasn't, you got to work towards, you got to play something fast. You can't play. We could play fast, We would talk about how much fun we had as for people together. We had a lot of fun together. That was a lot of fun with that band.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I miss it.
Yeah, I remember when Songbook came out. That was like here in Slovenia. There was still CDs, and I bought it and I still remember the moment when I put it on the album. I was like, man, that's burning, and then I mean, all of my friends. Then we made copies, like burned CDRs, and everyone was listening to that, and like just like, oh man, this. Uh, did you guys know when you created that record, Songbook, that it was gonna be like so important in a sense, or?
Well, Kenny's manager did. She did, right? We hadn't finished the last note. She says, I think we might win a Grammy on this one. We were Grammy nominated. We didn't win it, but we were nominated.
Mm.
No, the level was very high. And I was kind of freaked out a little bit because I had a problem with my bass, the bridge.
Oh, shit.
So I was adjusting and trying to get my bass together for the second night. And it was interesting though. We weren't using tuners like they do today. Everybody's tuning up. You have to use your ears, man. So you might be a little pitchy, but you really listening to where it is. Now we just play and tune to ourselves and don't know what pitch the piano was in. We got to pay attention to the piano. So, that was fun. I think I met Jeff in Atlanta. He and Robert Hirsch. The first time I was playing with Jackie McLean.
That was in the 80s or?
Yeah, 80s, 89.
89, okay.
I think it was 89. Jeff Watts and Robert Hirsch came into my room. I was playing with Jackie McLean and Walter Bishop and Arthur Taylor. So I was playing with those guys when I first started. Right. So I would listen to stories from those gentlemen. And everybody leaves a little bit with you when you play with them. They leave a little bit of their soul with you.
Yeah.
So you hold on to it, certain things people might say, and it keeps it okay, because then I can think, even when I'm not playing, that, wow, I've done quite well. Done quite well. In the 40 years at the University of Hartford. So I saw a lot of young musicians do quite well. Some great musicians out there that I had a chance to be with doing their development. So there's a lot of, I feel good about it. I do.
Yeah. Did you like when you were on the road, like I listened today to that "To Love and Be Loved" record by Harold Mabern, and I think it's Jimmy Cobb on that one.
Yeah.
And how was it like for you to play with Jimmy? I mean, you know, and did you ever ask those guys, like, you know, you mentioned Pharaoh and Jackie and Jimmy, like about the 50s or 60s, or did they start talking simultaneously?
They
Yeah,
started
right.
talking. You know,
Yeah.
we didn't ask a lot of questions. I always let people tell me what they want to tell me. That's kind of where I do.
Yeah.
So he always played Miles. He always listened. He talked about the drums.
Hmm.
He talked about he didn't talk a lot. He was kind of quiet. I think you get your best conversation out when you try to play together. So me as a younger bass player, I'm listening to Jimmy Cobb. I'm not listening. I'm trying to figure out how can I fit in with what he's doing. If I'm playing with AT, I'm doing the same thing.
Hmm.
So you got to be able to not be so stuck into how you're going to play everything. You got to be flexible to the beat or listen to the musicians you're playing with. So if you're playing a straight ahead tune and you're playing a two feel, you gotta listen to you gotta find out where you want to put your bounce. Everything has a bounce to it. So you have to really listen. You can't be moving around too fast.
Hmm.
And they'll teach you because they've already did it. You know,
Sure.
playing with Jimmy Cobb, I'm thinking, man, PC played all this so much better. But you do your best. Did you listen to So What?
I mean,
Did you listen to So What on that record?
yeah, sure. Yeah. On the
Yeah,
Harold Neighbors. Yeah.
yeah. Man, can you imagine what I'm thinking when I'm playing that bass line? I was thinking about
Yeah,
PC,
like PC,
but he
yeah.
plays it
59.
different.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So
it's
yeah,
incredible.
and studio is interesting because you have to really listen because sometimes you can't see that other musician. So you're playing out of your head. So that's the way I play when I'm playing live. I'm not looking around, seeing who's in the audience. Prefer not to stare at the music, but if I have to, if I want to try to memorize it as much as I can, as quick as I can,
Mm.
even if it's the first time I've seen it. So there's somewhere I can close my eyes, somewhere there, just so you can see everything's in the right place. It's so much to it that you can't practice or work on. It happens like spiritually happens. And I think the more spiritual you become, whatever that is, the more in tune you get with the music and what it is you're trying to do. And you don't do as much when you have to play. Don't put out too much energy doing other things.
Yeah.
Treat it very gently because it's very serious. And the audience will see it when they see your focus. They'll see it. You know. And I think the industry will see it too as they discover so many people and then undiscover some. No, I don't mean that, but discover
No,
some
I know.
people.
Sure.
And then there are other people that could probably have some input into the creativity as well. Uh, they find you. They'll
Yeah,
find you.
yeah,
So you
definitely.
just keep doing what you're doing, and that's how it all works. And if you ever want to do this again and we could listen to some music and talk. We could share the screen
Yeah.
and we could play some tunes, or you could say, I could turn you on to some bootleg stuff. You
Mm.
know what I mean?
Ooh.
I'm here. I like this because when I was doing the Zoom, I tried to do it at a level where it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
But I have all that stuff in here.
I just wanted to ask you this before, like when you listen to, let's say, to the bootlegs you did with Jackie or
Mhm.
Pharaoh, uh, how do you hear your progress or progression if you listened like to
I hear it in a
gigs
lot of
after
ways. I
gigs?
hear it in the sound.
Mm.
I hear it first. Sometimes you hear it, you don't like it, but then other time, even when you don't like it, you have to make yourself listen to it. That you start to like it
Mm.
because a lot of times it's just the sound you don't like. It's not what you're playing. So the extra sound can affect how you think about things.
Mm.
Sometimes if you listen back to something and the bass is too loud, you don't like it. All you got to do is pull it down a little bit. You like it. So I like it all. I didn't realize I did that we were playing like that then. And.
Mm.
So now when it's like that's where I'm at now. I'm still there. I try to stay right there, that level. Keep your tempos fast, your sound together, and you like it.
Yeah.
It takes you back, excuse me, it takes you back to where you were, where you were, what year was that? Oh man, that was 40, 35 years ago. Wow, you're still here doing it. That's what you like.
Yeah.
And you like the fact that you're probably the only person that has it. But the whole band did. We all recorded. So everybody had a recorder. So I kind of think that I want to put it all together because I have a lot of it on mini disc. And I must have about 300-400 live mini discs. Little disc. Then I have cassette tapes. I'm looking for a cassette tape. That last tour with the last time Sonny Stitt and I played it together. I have that somewhere.
Whoa.
And there's it's so much stuff. It's hard to keep up with stuff now because everything's on these little things.
Yeah.
It's so small.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to write on them. I have a lot on my Zoom player. It's cool.
Wow, that would be amazing if this would be possible to get out one day, like, to release it or some sort of bootlegs or something, just because of the heritage of the music, and, to hear you play with, I don't know, Mulgrew Miller or Kenny Kirkland, all these guys who are not with us anymore. It's just...
Yep. Mulgrew, yep.
Oh, man, Mulgrew, I'm such a fan.
What's the guy's name? What about, did you know Vernell Brown?
No, but yeah,
Brown.
He played with Kenny, sure, I know him, but not personally. Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, he and I were on the road a lot together.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing players.
About all the drummers used to come talk to me in the room about playing. I was always their teacher. Kenny Garrett to tell you that. And he thanked me publicly at the University of Hartford for helping him with his drummers, because I try to help. Because I want them to work together, but I have the most experience. So just listen to me. Don't take away the attention from the saxophone player with a roll or something like that. Save it. You have to know when to place things, know when to say something, when to start.
Beautiful.
That's why it's nice to have all that music. When I was on the train yesterday, I was listening to something I did just recently at Jazz at Lincoln Center with the Atoms That Remain band, because it was all free. So I don't know what I played. Most of the time I know what I played. I can just go back and listen to it. I had no idea. I was like, wow, this is and it was relaxing and it's funny in a certain way.
Yeah.
It gave me some freedom to try some things that I've been working on.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So it was real nice.
Amazing. Fantastic. Otherwise, Nat, what is still on the schedule for you for this year? Do you have some tours coming up, or do you have any plans of coming to Europe with a band?
I'm not sure, but I kind of think I will be in Europe. I went to Switzerland in October, October.
Oh, really?
I was there. And this one new record that's coming out for Jazz at Lincoln Center's new label, Blue Engine, with Sir Hanahan. It's going to have some juice to it. So I'm not sure yet, but I know something's coming up. So let's keep this going. This is just one conversation. We can tailor it down to talking about my first CD, or what has been the most difficult thing for me. This year I did tribute to Nina Simone. That was with 9 different singers.
Really? I didn't know that. Whoa.
Yeah, and the guitar player plays with Little Feat, a rock band.
Yeah. Wow. Really?
That was 9 different people. Then I had to do tribute to Dexter Gordon, tribute to Lee Morgan.
Wow.
So all kinds of
rights. Yeah.
In the saxophone battle with Eric Alexander, Vince Herring. That's all charts. You get your music through the email. So you're learning all this music to play a concert. So sometimes you just can't memorize a lot of it. So you have to learn how to spot read it, read parts of it, and then what don't read. And then you got to physically think about how you're holding your head. That had just hurt my neck years ago. So I have to pull the stand up, pull it up, and make sure that I'm comfortable at all times playing. I can't play looking this way.
Yep.
I get problems here. So, you know, I'm thinking about my physical being now because twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week, I go to a chiropractor.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Just for my alignment, because, you know, the bass,
It's
you know,
smart.
like that.
Yep.
Yeah. So you're going to do that. So I try to keep myself straight. And if I play up on the bass, I don't go head first like you see bass players do. I just make sure I can reach it without moving my body too much. But then your facilities and your energy is different.
Mm.
You know, when you're doing all that, you know, that's a lot of energy right there. But if you don't do all that, then you got the energy in the middle here, goes to your hands, man. You're good at that. You know?
Yeah.
It's all it's like dance. Like
It is. Yeah.
gotta have it, gotta be smooth with it.
True. Yeah. That's so true.
I haven't played my bass since Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Wow.
5 days. Because I went away. I got home yesterday. I wanted to do my interview first. See what I mean? Clean my house, then play the bass.
Now you're like the
Clean my-
excitement is growing now to play.
Hmm?
The bass is waiting, and you're both like, oh yes.
Yeah. The
Beautiful.
bass is waiting. I'm gonna finish my little things here I have to do. Put my clothes in and get to the bass. But I really enjoy talking to you.
Yeah, you too. Thanks so much for taking the time. Appreciate it. Really nice
It
to meet you.
Sorry, it took me a minute to understand the delay because there's a little delay.
Yeah,
At
yeah.
the beginning, I might have been talking a little too quick. If you want to do this again, just
Oh
let me
man,
know.
definitely. Or if you're in Europe, please drop me a line, and you know, we get together for a nice meal or a glass of wine or whatever. So,
Okay. Do you know
cool.
Jesse Van Ruler?
Oh sure, yeah, man. Oh, you know him?
Have you-
How do you know him? Yeah, we
I
talked
did a
already.
record. I'm on a record with him.
Oh, which one is? Oh, with your? No, who's on
Wait,
drums? Which one is it? I have to check
I'm
it
gonna
out.
look now. I forgot the title.
I
You
have
want to look at
also
it?
all of his records. Yeah,
Okay.
just sure, I know him. He's in Holland, from Holland. So, on
Yeah,
which?
yeah, he's a good player.
Oh yeah, here and there, right? No. Yeah, here and there. Oh, sure, I have this one. Yeah, with Joe
Yeah,
Farnsworth. Yeah, on drums. Sure,
that's a good record.
that's a good record. Yeah, yeah. My wife is Dutch, so you know
Yeah,
it's
here and there. That's a bad record. That was 2002. I
too.
like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. You
He's
still
got another
play with
bass
him?
player on few of the cuts too.
Yeah.
Hmm?
You still play with him, or have you played with him still recently?
No, I haven't seen
All right.
him.
Mm.
See, that's what I mean. People they go like that.
Yeah,
I try to stay in touch with people, but they go like that.
yeah. It's heavy to, yeah, I guess, to keep all the contacts. You played with so many people, so it's hard.
Yeah, yeah. But
Definitely.
that's why you have Facebook, and it's a different way of doing it. It's all good.
Exactly.
I go with it. I try to make the best out of it, and I don't read into it.
Yeah, beautiful. Uh, Sir, thank you so much for sharing some of these thoughts. Really beautiful to hear you talk. So, and
Nice to talk to you.
yeah, and I'll let you know when this is out. I'll send you a link, and we can share it and everything. So.
Yeah, send me a link. I know it's some silly stuff in there.
No, come on, it's such a beautiful talk. I mean, so much great
Thank
advice
you.
also for musicians and for everyone. So beautiful, fantastic.
Okay, you can edit whatever shouldn't be there.
Oh man, it was a free impro, so
See
I'll
you,
leave
my
it.
friend.
I'll leave it like it is. So cool. Thank you.
Hey, take care.
You too. Okay. Bye.
Dr. Jazz.